Hey there! In this video, we'll be inking and coloring our male character's sketch. Let's see how. After finishing the sketch, create a new layer over it. Reduce the opacity of the sketch layer so that we can use the sketch as a guide. For the inking process, we are going to use the same brush as the sketch but increase opacity to 100%. As I said before, you'll find this brush in the Attachments tab on TootPad. What I usually do first is to outline the outer lines of the main areas. These lines will be thicker than the inner lines. It's just a technique to add volume and create a cool inking effect. When inking, you can either work with the same brush thickness or use different thickness. It's up to you. Analyze different artists' work and choose the inking technique that best suits your style. In order for you to get an idea, the line weight will depend on the drawing we are creating or the shadow and lighting effects. For instance, the outline of the character could be inked with a thicker line than the inside, or the face, which is bigger, would be thicker than the nose, for example. Another option is to use thick lines in those areas with shadows and thinner lines in bright areas. There are different inking techniques, so you have to find out which one you prefer. Let me give you a tip to practice it. Take a character, a simple character, and ink it in 3 different ways. After that, choose the style that best suits your drawing style. Well, here is the fully inked sketch. I cut this part off in order for you not to get bored. Follow the same inking process for the whole body. Actually, it's a repetitive process. It's a creative one as well. Create a cool outline and add your own personality to it. And once the inking process is ready, create a new layer and place it under the inks layer. Then choose a base color and paint the entire character. In my case, I tend to use a base and neutral color like this light brown. We'll be working with brush number 23. It's a basic and default brush in Photoshop. In this step, we are kind of creating a sort of mask or sticker to which the other mask will be subordinated, and this way we'll avoid painting outside the drawing. Create a new layer and press Alt while clicking on the base layer under it. This way we'll create a clipping mask and we won't exceed the outline when painting. See? I tried to add color outside the mask, but I can't. This is what we are going to do with the rest of layers when coloring the sketch. Guys, bear in mind as well that modifications made in superior layers will overlap the content of inferior layers. So if you want to color a certain area, make sure there isn't any other layer above. Otherwise, it won't be visible. Pay attention to it when applying color so it's easier for you to identify the limits of each layer. Well, I've chosen the colors I like the most. I haven't been inspired by the original picture. In fact, I'm not using it right now, as you can see. You can use it if you want, but in my case, I prefer to add a personal touch. Don't worry if you don't like the colors right now, because you will be able to change them later. Press Ctrl U to open up the color picker. This way we'll be able to change the color of each separated layer so all colors tone in well. Great! After you apply the colors, let's insert some gradients in some areas to add depth to this flat drawing. So click on each layer and lock it. Then select the gradient tool, which is in the panel on the left. With this tool, we can insert some gradients. I've set it at 20% of opacity, more or less. Then select darker colors than those of the drawing. Cool, so apply the gradients wherever you want, and after that we are going to change the line's color to make it more harmonious. So select the lines layer and lock the pixels. Then use the same brush we worked with previously for inking and drawing. Pick darker tones than the original ones and add color to the outline. You'll see that the drawing is more harmonious and everything matches perfectly. However, you can keep the black line if you want. There are many possibilities and different options to get the style you want. In some occasions, you can even use a lighter tone for the outline, which helps to add lighting effects. It's just a matter of playing around with the different techniques. Well, I think I'm going to use this technique for the boots, and I'm going to use a lighter tone in order to give it a different style. Great, so we've finished our character. This is the one we are going to use as a reference to draw, ink, and color the feminine character. So, in the next lesson, we'll be sketching the female character, taking as a reference what we've done so far. Guys, I really hoped you liked this lesson, and see you in the next one.